Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Really excited for today's video. So I got two things going in this video. So I got a box from Hop Butcher today. Thank you so much, obviously. And obviously that's like amazing, but I was like, wait, I still have a beer from the last box. I said, I'm going to combine these two things. Actually, this would have made a nice live stream. Another thing about it, but anyway. So at the beginning, I'm going to do a review of the last beer from the last box, and then I will do an unboxing of the new box. All in one video. Double your pleasure, double your fun. So this beer, kind of cool. They had wanted to brew, they do it for St. Patrick's Day, their Swans of Lear, and I don't think it was COVID related. I think it was a storm or something, but they couldn't get some of the ingredients they needed to make that beer. So they looked at what they had and like read their recipe list and like, we do have the ingredients to make this beer. So they ended up brewing this beer. So kind of cool, and I'm excited to try it. Mosaic, Centennial, and Simcoe hopped India Pale Ale, 6.25% ABV, Skeleton Cruise, and at time of review, it is 3 weeks old. Happy 311 day, everybody. Oh yeah, because I think it must have been canned 309 and then it was released 311, which I had that self-titled album. That was a really good album. I will not read the tasting notes until after I've said what I think of the beer, so I'm really excited. Proper glassware, so you know it's going to taste better. Yeah, it's a clear beer. Yes. Clear beer time. Great can art, as always, by Dan Jetsa. Big fan. All right, so clear beer shows the dirty glass. So it does have that like straw, little bit of orange mixed in, but it's very yellow. It's a very yellow beer, clear. I mean, like almost like Pilsner in terms of, you know, how unfiltered it is. So you get that yellow straw thing with a little kiss of orange. You know, the head's gone down. It's like white. I don't know if I can say barely off white. The head is white. There might have been like 3/4 of a finger of that head. Small bubbles. But I mean, it definitely looks more like a West Coast, you know, pale ale into the IPA range, which given the ABV kind of makes sense, I think. But yeah, I mean, it looks great and it's cool. There's some nice carbonation. This glass has a hop etched to the bottom and it does release some nice carbonation in the center. You know, they do a lot of the big stouts and then a lot of the hazy IPAs, and you kind of, at least I do, sometimes I forget, like, oh yeah, it is kicking out that carbonation because I can't see through it. So it is kind of a cool reminder about this awesome glass. But anyway, let's get into the aroma. There's a nice, like, I just kind of associate with, and maybe it's lame to say, but like old school pale ale IPAs. There's some combination of, and this is pretty soft, like it's not overly piney or resiny, but there's like a little bit of that. There's just like a little bit of that old school grapefruit where you know it's coming from a hop. It's not grapefruity enough where you're like, this could be grapefruit juice, but it is like, the closest thing that this hop is kicking out is some grapefruit. There's a soft strawberry, soft watermelon, and like and again, because it is a relatively soft, like all these things are soft, so maybe it's getting redundant, I keep saying it, but there's nothing that's like, this is dominating, where I don't have to say soft. Everything is very gentle in this. But maybe even some like honeydew melon. What were the hops again? Mosaic. So that makes sense for the strawberry, Centennial, and Simcoe. Okay. I guess that makes sense. The watermelon made me think El Dorado, but it doesn't have any. Let's get to the glass. Cheers. And thanks again, Hop Butcher. I really appreciate it. That's nice. So it's so interesting, like, cause I know their beers pretty well, you know, in terms of styles of beers, or, well, I'll get to that in a second, but breweries doing different styles of beers. You know, I know their bigger mouthfeel IPAs with the oats and the wheat, and some of them have the lactose as well. And the nice thing about this is it doesn't drink thin, you know, and it's not as creamy and all that stuff, obviously. But like, it's not like I drink this and I'm like, oh man, like this is such a super thin beer. But it is thinner than that stuff, obviously. But one of the things that really I like about this is you do get that sweetness, but then it gets checked with the hoppiness, the bitterness, I should say, from the hops that I want in a pale ale that looks like this, you know? It does have some nice different notes of the orange, probably with that Centennial. You're getting, and I guess it makes sense based on some of the aroma, like making me think older school IPAs and pale ales. So you kind of get, like I was saying with the grapefruit, you're kind of getting like, yeah, it's orangey, but you can tell it's the thing that the hop is kicking out. There were some, I'm really glad I said strawberry, because that's how that mosaic is coming through to me. A nice grassy, it's working with the citrus, but that's because the citrus is so orangey. It's not like lemongrass, but this grassy, earthy character, very nice in there. Little crackery malt. Man, what I really like about this, it's going to sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's that moment where the sweetness goes away because the bitterness finally shows up. Each sip I keep going back for, I'm like, give me that thing, you know? So it's a really nice experience. And it's not overly done and it's not too muted. It just, for whatever reason, is hitting me right where it's like, okay, I want that thing, that West Coast Pale Ale IPA kind of a thing. Boom, there it is, and it's done the way I want it done. I'm cool with that. Sweet berry, yeah, I mean, mine's specifically strawberry. Pleasant pine. Yeah, I mean, they definitely like when they put pine, putting that pleasant pine, and it is pleasant, like I'm not saying that's wrong. It's for the style, I think it's a little subdued. You know, it does, like, this beer doesn't drink like Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale, right? It's a little bit, that aspect of it, I should say specifically so people don't misunderstand me, that specific aspect of it is more subtle. So I would say like subtle pine by comparison for the style, right? And it doesn't necessarily, doesn't have to be for just which one's more famous in Sierra Nevadas, right? And then fresh lemon zest. Okay, interesting. So I made a point to not, that like it's not lemony to me. I mentioned grapefruit, I mentioned a lot of orange and those things as the citrus. So, I mean, I do get the zestiness of it, but I don't know, I think it's that sweetness in it that makes me think not lemon. But, excuse me, killer beer. Alright, so let me do this unboxing. And speaking of proper glassware, they did cut the top of this, and Sean had alerted me to this. I assume it's got to be what I think it is. And this is like, prepare yourself for sexy. I'm bringing sexy back. Hop Butcher's bringing sexy back. This is going to be very sexy. Anyone's watching this with children, it's totally appropriate. Don't worry, nothing inappropriate's about to happen. But this glassware, I love this glass. Sean's like, look at this glass. He sent a picture of it, and I was like, what is this glass? Wow. It's you stem this one, and it's like this one. Here's what it is. This glass, I hope it's still on camera. This glass and a Tiku had a baby, and this is the glass, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is a sexy glass. I love this glass. Yeah, I love that glass. Let's get into the beer. right. So, Alsace? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I am the worst at pronouncing things. Alsace. So like Al and then a word that rhymes with face, like but with an S. So like Alsace. Great can art. I love his style so much. Elixir and Mistral hopped French style Pilsner. Maybe it's a French word. So, and I took Spanish, so don't be mad at me for not knowing this. Like Elixir. I don't know. I got nothing. But okay, I don't know Elixir or Mistral hopped. Like I don't know those hops. So, and then what's a French style Pilsner? I don't know. 5% ABV. I'm not going to read the tasting notes because I want to wait till the review. But actually, this might be a good beer for me to do on a Tuesday where I try to test my palate because hops I don't know and a style I don't know. Yeah, that's rad. Yellow can coming at you. Yeah, this is... Speaking of Sean, so sorry, Sean from Nerd Sense. I forget which one of us saw that this was being brewed first, but I know whoever was made a point to be like, yo. Oh no, Sean told me. It was, man, Sean's been really good about letting me know about stuff. Imperial Stout brewed with coffee and toffee, 11.5% ABV. Because Sean and I are big stout guys, but so's Mike. And then like Sean and I also love coffee. So we're like a coffee stout from these guys. Like I'm all about that. And then toffee, that's a cool thing. I also think if adjuncts rhyme, that the beer will taste better. So the fact that it's coffee and toffee, obviously this beer's gonna taste really good. And it's 11.5, which is interesting because I think the other big stouts from them have been 10.5. Actually, yeah, because I have the banana one right here, 10.5. Interesting. Okay. Deeper Dish. Citra and Vic Secret Hop Triple IPA, 10.5% ABV. I'm getting my wires crossed. I may have had this beer or not. I'll have to check. If I've had it before, I probably won't re-review it. But I know I've had the Tavern Cut, which I really liked. I remember this beer existing. Man, I just can't remember if I've had it. Oh, cool. Okay. Talk about that in a second. And the last beer. Again, the can art. I love the can art he does. Mega Clang Strata, which I have been loving. Like, Hop Butcher turned me on to Strata, and then I've had it with other beers and from other breweries, and I really like this hop, and I'm glad that they like made me think about this hop. Is like, no, you like this hop, be aware of it, check it out in other beers from other breweries. And I've really liked what people have been doing with this hop. Rawaka and Nectaron. And this is an IPA, 6.5% ABV. And then some cool stickers. So Unwind Your Mind, which again, can art I love. It, like the knotted fishing lines and nets. But this one's really special to me. Herbs and Hordo. It's, in my opinion, I did a joint review with Sean and Mike from Nerd Sense. See, this should have been a live stream. It's long, and I had a lot of stuff I could have elaborated on and interacted with people on. So my apologies. I should have done this as a live stream. I've learned my lesson in the future. I'll probably forget that I ever said this, but hopefully I'll remember and do it as a live stream. But anyway, this review, I think, is the best review I've ever done. And I don't even mean like from an entertainment point of view. I just think we were, all three of us were hitting on all cylinders, and like it was one of, we always have a good time. Anytime you see me doing something with someone else, I've only had good experiences, and there's people I have done things with more than other people. Never misunderstand. I've been very fortunate. Everything I've ever done on BeerTube with other people has been a lot of fun, and that one in particular, for whatever reason, it just made what I think is the best review we've ever done. And those guys also agree with it. So make sure you check out, if you have never watched that, the Herbs and Hordo review was like, I just think like, if there was like, BeerTubies, like the Emmys or something, and like you had to submit a video for your best BeerTube review, that's the video I would have submitted, cause like, that's a really cool sticker for me to have. So like, that's awesome. Of all the beers, not even just from them, just again, because I think it's the best review I've ever done. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble, which is how I always know it's time to wrap things up. So thanks again, Hop Butcher. Obviously, this this is stupid amazing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And so make sure you check out Hot Butcher. Dan Jetsa sells artwork, like his stuff. He does labels for these guys, but he has his own. Oh, this is actually a collaboration. I just noticed that with Cellarmaker. Rad collaboration with Cellarmaker. Anyway, he also does private artwork that you can get as well, and like really awesome stuff. So thanks again, Hot Butcher. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that. Check me out on Instagram and Untappd. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.